And I actually have a good set of teeth too at your age, which is impressive.
I've only had 2 cavities in my whole life. Still to
You know
this
what?
day.
It's semen because it coats the teeth. And people are like, you don't fucking need toothpaste. You just need, jizz.
It's hard to do evening drinks at on fucking Sunday morning. So here I am drinking coffee because of you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
No, this is great because now I get to see what kind of person you are in the daytime, and it's just angry, vindictive, cigarette smoker until you get
Wait,
that alcohol in you.
isn't that the same at night?
Yeah, yeah. Except the alcohol takes some of the edge off.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm drinking alcohol when we record at night, and he's just like this all the time, and I just don't notice it. Is that what it is? That's probably what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
He comes over to the house and he's like on edge for a good 5-10 minutes before he gets a drink and stops shaking.
Yeah, it gets that Jameson filled up to like freaking here. Yeah.
Actually, with him, he's usually a little bit and a lot of soda water and ice.
Oh, that's
Everything
temperance.
that was everything that was just said in the last 45 seconds is a fucking lie. Lies, lies all the way down.
So you're saying you do fill your Jameson up this high?
You've seen me deep throat the Jameson bottle on this in some of these recordings.
That is true.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
I didn't really actually consume a lot of booze during those. But on edge when I get to your house, no, that's not true. That's a lie. It's a fucking lie, Josh.
Okay.
I am animated when I get to your place because I always have a story to tell. Do I not?
Typically.
Yeah, I saw a car upside down with it. Well, last week when I went over, there was a car accident on the way, and I had to get on the highway in the opposite direction because the highway ramp that I wanted to get on was closed. Because there was a fucking Jeep, SUV, not the Jeep, upside, like turned over, and it was smashed. The entire roof section was smashed flat, flush with the ground. The hood of this Jeep SUV was touching the concrete.
I think trouble just finds you. Do you think you're one of those people? You're just like a magnet for drama and trouble and stuff like that. I think you are. And you do nothing to bring it on yourself.
No.
Not in the slightest bit. It's just the stuff that the world does to you.
I like being entertaining, so whenever I get on, like I see my life as a stage. So when I get to Josh's house, I'm like immediately on stage, and I have to tell something either entertaining, dramatic, or controversial.
Let's go back to proof. Last time, Mark, you made a statement, and it was regarding Scott's hotness, and you said you had never used that particular statement before. I said you had. You are correct, sir. You have not.
Ooh, is that your dude? You might have to say you're sorry to Mark.
No, we're not going to go that far.
You're not going to go that far. What statement was it?
It was when I said crack lighters use you to light their crack pipes.
No, it was something about the Sahara.
Was it the heating pad one?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was, but
Scott is so hot, heating pads put him on their back.
No, but that's a good one too.
That's pretty good. You have to be using ChatGPT for these.
I am not. I no.
All right.
And I'm frankly, I'm offended that you would even go there. Like I don't know how to begin to use ChatGPT. One time, somebody on Twitter created something with ChatGPT. Is it GTP or GPT? I don't know which one it is. It was a friend of mine in New York, and he was like some kind of challenge, blah blah, and his Twitter feed is mostly satire. And so I went, and it didn't let me use it, and it made me want to make an account or something. And I'm like, yeah, fuck.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, that's all right, man. You don't have to use ChatGPT. Just the rest of us will use the technology, and some of us won't. And we'll see what happens.
Chat LGBTQGP.
Chat LGBT.
Chat LGBTQGP.
Yeah.
Plus.
That's a whole nother one. That one you'd be into. It's got some views.
You would, yeah. Okay, so well, first of all, Mark, you posed an interesting question on the chat, the text that we have going. A movie you'd be embarrassed of. I immediately came up with one. It was 1999, and Alicia Silverstone was on everyone's wall. Paul Rudd was starring with Stacey Dash. Any guesses?
Clueless, and you shouldn't be embarrassed about that movie. It's a classic.
Yeah,
Mark probably even likes that one.
What's the name of this movie?
Clueless.
Never heard of it.
Jesus Christ. Of course.
Yeah.
And you've never seen an episode of The Simpsons and all this other stuff. Sure,
I've never seen an episode of The Simpsons. Josh and his son have put like The Simpsons up for an episode. So, but I didn't watch the whole thing, and I paid like zero attention to it.
Just out of general principle. Like, I've never seen The Simpsons. I'm going to die never seeing the fucking
Well,
Simpsons.
I mean, what are some
Just
other movies
refusing
that I think I named a handful of movies that I'd never seen that just blew your guys' mind. So the movie that I'd be most embarrassed to admit that I kind of liked and watched would be Dr. Strangelove.
My personal favorite movie, Dr. Strangelove.
I did that to see if I could get you triggered, and you kept your cool.
That's
No, I'm totally making that up.
inside. I'm fuming. Because if I had a few drinks, we were recording at night. I would just let you have it. But
I would say because they were so universally panned, I've got three. One is The Godfather 3. I liked it. Everybody else hated it.
I liked it.
I liked it.
never seen it.
The other one is Superman Returns, which is a good Superman movie. I don't care what anybody says. The three or four big scenes in that film are good. The saving the airliner and the space shuttle scene is good. The minigun scene is good, where a fucking minigun bullet hits him in the eyeball and bounces off. It's fucking good. Flying right through all these buildings in Metropolis is great. He blows out Metropolis's gas lines, leak, and all of the manhole covers have blown off, and there's fire coming out, and he blows it all out. Those are all good scenes. And the other one would be, and I you guys will know the name of it. It's the Star Wars movie that had Aiden Christensen and the hot chick in it.
There's two of those.
Whichever one is the first one that had Aiden Christensen in it and the hot chick, I forget her name, Pop, starts with a P.
Portman.
Yeah, Natalie Portman. You're thinking of episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, that wasn't a bad movie. It's the one where they have a big gold lightsaber fight at the end. Yoda's kicking ass with his lightsaber.
And Darth Vader burns to death on this fiery island or something. Fiery
That
planet.
is the third one. You're confusing two movies. I think maybe you have seen two, and they're just fusing together in your head because you drink Jameson glasses with this much Jameson.
Here's what happens. A lot of these times, Mark, you say you haven't seen these movies, but I've sat next to you when you've seen them. You've just fallen asleep.
You know, I hate to split hairs here. I'm going to side with Mark. If he falls asleep during a movie, I think it counts as he hasn't seen the movie. I mean, that just makes sense logically.
Except for the Lord of the Rings movies, I've never fallen asleep in one.
Oh, yeah. You fell asleep during Blade.
I've never seen Blade.
Jesus Christ.
Point.
Because he fell asleep.
And match.
I'm sorry, but there's not a movie I can think of that I'm embarrassed that I like.
You like the Blue Lagoon? You like the Blue Lagoon? Aren't you embarrassed by that?
Never seen the Blue Lagoon. I'm sure I would have loved it if I saw it.
Okay.
I know there's like Netflix original movies that nobody likes that I like. Like I like the movie Bright with Will Smith, the Netflix movie. I've seen that a few times, and apparently everybody hates it. I'm not embarrassed.
Since we're on movies, and I'll close with this. I watched most of The Professional last week or week before
with Natalie Portman. As a child, she's a child actor in that same person.
I didn't even know that. All right, I just know it's the French guy. Whatever. I would be almost be embarrassed to admit that I watched that movie now because I don't think they would make that movie now, and because I think the director who made that film or the screenplay writer was kind of creepy and pervy, right? The scenes where they have a child
didn't
dance.
Stop Roman Polanski. Right?
No, kidding. Like I'm watching, like when she tells Leon, when she tells him that she's in love, like she loves him, and they do a close up of a 12-year-old girl's stomach, and she's pressing on her stomach, right? And like all of this, like sort of like tension between a grown man and I get that young girls have crushes on a guy school teacher, and and adolescent boys get a crush on one of their friends' hot mom or whatever. I get all that, right? Like, okay, but like there are scenes in The Professional where I'm like, nah, man, you didn't need to do that. You went too far with that.
Wasn't Jodie Foster at least playing a 12-year-old prostitute and Taxi Driver?
I don't think you could do that movie now.
Yeah, you couldn't do that either. And it
No,
was, I mean, obviously that was bad and portrayed as bad in the movie, but still, I don't think they'd let you get away with it because it was just too hardcore. And it was creepy, even
yeah,
that being
that's
bad.
also a movie I haven't seen.
You've never seen Taxi Driver?
No,
Taxi Driver is a classic. You should absolutely see it. If you like anything
I've seen
Scorsese's
I've
done.
seen bits and pieces of it, but I can tell you why I haven't seen it.
Okay.
That was the movie that inspired John Hinckley Jr. to shoot President Reagan and three other people that I knew.
Really?
And I can't do it.
Uh-huh.
I just there's just something in it. It's like I had heard of that movie, but that's the movie where he fell in love with Jodie Foster and decided that the best way to impress Jodie Foster was to shoot the president of the United States. And one of my friends was murdered. Jim Brady got shot in the head, and he lived for 30 some years after he was shot in the head. But the coroner ruled his death a homicide because he wouldn't have died if he hadn't been shot in the head. So I accused John Hinckley Jr. of murder, of course, because he committed it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's a Rubicon I can't cross. I'm not saying I'll never watch it. It's just every time that movie comes on, I'll maybe watch like a couple of minutes of it. But it just harkens me back to a period of time that I lived through, a period in history that I lived through, that I was there for, that I was in the White House for, where I was worried that my boss was going to die, that my friend was going to die, and that a Secret Service agent that I knew was going to die. I take it back. I didn't know everybody that was shot. I did not know the D.C. police officer who was shot in the neck, Tom Delahanty. I didn't know him, but I knew everybody who was shot.
Okay, we're going to move this in another direction. So, previously I had a bunch of questions that I had written out. These are from GPT, so I don't know. A little bit more philosophy than political, so taking us in a completely different direction than the normal podcast. This does kind of harken back to our afternoon tea. We are drinking tea. Scott, are you drinking tea?
Decaf coffee, actually.
Both of you are just gay as fuck. One of you is drinking tea, and the other of you is just drinking decaf.
You want to know what makes it even worse? It's Tim Hortons brand decaf coffee.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, that's bad, dude.
Yeah, that is. I mean, like, Canada is a gay country, a gay terrorist country, and you're drinking their fucking decaf coffee.
Yeah, I am. It's quite delicious.
Question number 1 is in 3 parts. This is, feel free to jump in whenever. If you could know with certainty that free will doesn't exist, would you want to know?
I do know with certainty that free will doesn't exist. It does not exist, and I take the Sam Harris approach to free will. It doesn't exist, and it also doesn't matter that it doesn't exist. The example he likes to use is, let's say you want to become a doctor, you still have to go to medical school to become a doctor. Whether free will exists or it doesn't, makes no difference. If you want things in life, you have to do the causes to get that effect.
Granny Clampett was a doctor, and she didn't go to medical school.
Castor oil.
I stand corrected. You did get me there pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. So my next question was, how would it change how you live? And apparently, Scott, it doesn't. Mark,
0.
what are your thoughts on that free will?
I've never really given it all that much thought, Josh.
Manifest destiny? Okay. All right, moving on. What if we're in a simulation? Scott, what's your thoughts on it?
Also makes no difference because the rules are the same. I mean, it comes down to being okay with whether or not we're special, right? I am okay with us not being special. A lot of the AI debate centers around that. A lot of the kind of more pro AI people like Mo Gadot, a a lot of their argument is there's nothing really that special about our brain matter, and it can all be reproduced by silicone, right? Like, look at the number one country song in the billboards is an AI created country song. Did you hear about this?
I have heard that it is, but I have not listened to it.
I'm going to send it to both of you so that you can listen to it. And what that helps prove, I think, is that in the end, we're really not that special. We should just enjoy our lives for what it is. And there is a good chance that we're living in some kind of simulation. And if we are, arguably, that would make us less special than if we're not. But we're already just one of billions of humans that have existed. So no matter how you look at it, I think if you're cool with not being special, which you are not special, none of us are in the grand scheme of things, then it also doesn't matter if we're in a simulation. But that's just my 2 cents.
Okay. The last one is if we are the developers impressed or are they cringing with bug reports?
What?
Okay.
Are they impressed with us?
If I'm the commander in chief of what, I'm doing what?
Well, I think he wants to know if there's like a grand, if someone's watching us, if we're in a simulation, would they be impressed with us or not? I think they'd be a little embarrassed.
I don't know if they'd be impressed with you.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd be impressed with Mark.
All right.
They'd be like, how can this guy take that much dick and still manage to just function?
Walk.
Yeah. Smoke.
Right.
I mean, your mouth is used for so many things, and you actually have a good set of teeth too at your age, which is impressive.
I've only had 2 cavities in my whole life. Still,
you know what? It's semen because it coats the teeth. And people are like, you don't fucking need toothpaste. You just need, jizz.
Okay. Moving on. Should we judge historical figures by modern moral standards, or does that miss something essential about ethics? Mark,
retroactive moralism is a mental disorder.
Agreed.
You're expecting that people from centuries ago would have abided by today's standards. You're insane. You're mentally ill.
You're 100% correct.
There's not a single habitable corner of this planet where you can pick a civilization, a country, a region that was abiding by today's standards 200 years ago or 150 years ago or 100 years ago. There just isn't, right? And this week was full of a lot of people on Twitter talking about white supremacy and white people are bad because, they're the savages of the earth and they did this and they that. And I'm like, guys, number one, in the year 2025, there are huge swaths on the continent of Africa where child rape, child marriage, forced marriage, and slavery are ubiquitous and widespread, right? So, there's 35 million slaves on the continent of Asia, right? There's not any group of people that was extraordinarily savage, over and above other people. Like the Maoris went from island to island, eating the people and enslaving them. Whenever I see something like that, I'm like, where do you hear about the Arab conquest, the conquistadors, the Moors? What do you hear about the Mongols? What do you hear about the Maori? It's just like, no, there's...
Can I play partial devil's advocate?
Sure.
So, retroactive moralism, you can't hold people by the same standards in the past as you would today.
Yeah.
If an individual is born if they're born in Mauritania or something where there's slavery, and that's the world that they know, would you hold that same individual morally capable the same as someone who was born in Western civilization? Does that make sense? Am I saying that right? They got the phone. So they do have, so it's not the same because they have access to a lot. Like I said, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying I believe this.
No,
I'm just trying to sort of.
No, and I get you're playing devil's advocate, and I know that you're not arguing for that necessarily. But yeah, my quick answer to that is you have the entire world's historical knowledge on this device ever since people were keeping records.
And I would also say the leaders of any of these countries have the ability to deal with people from all over the world and to level up as people.
There's 32 countries on the continent of Africa where being gay is punishable by imprisonment and sometimes even death.
It did give us that one hilarious meme, though, where the guy goes, "Why are you gay?" Which I will put in.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Yeah.
It gives us that. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of bad, yes, but we have that hilarious meme.
And I've said it here before, and it bears repeating. And it bears repeating anytime the subject comes up. The North American continent was the first continent on this planet that crushed slavery, right? It was the first continent that crushed slavery 160 years ago. We did it mercilessly. And today, in 2025, slavery still exists on three other continents plus the Middle East.
Shout out also to William Wilberforce in England. I think he deserves
Yeah,
kudos
and
as well.
and it's because of the roadmap given to us, gifted to us by our founders in the Declaration and the Constitution. Like
Yeah.
our founders, yes, many of them were slaveholders, but they knew it was a system that they inherited. They knew it was wrong, and they created a civilization, a country, and a constitution, and the founding documents, which provided us distinctively as the people who were given the moral compass and the roadmap of how to crush slavery without collapsing the entire project. Like the Civil War did not destroy the United States. 625,000 people died, but it did not end the United States, right? So, yeah.
Can I just say, I'm embarrassed, but I've been kind of following in Mark's shadows and doing a little bit of Twitter back and forths myself. And one of them that there was a comment thread on is basically the U.S., the Declaration of Independence and all that, or Jesus in the New Testament. Which side's better? And I went hard on America being the better one, for sure. It was tough. I get it. But I'm just going to say that just America.
Well, I think so, and I think so because the Declaration harkens to divine providence, right? It mentions divine providence.
Yeah, it is.
So
It is kind of the precursor in a lot of ways, right?
it's not a rejection of divine providence, but it's also a socio-political, document, right? And to achieve anything, to build a country, to build a civilization, to build a society, one needs more than religion to do it. And the best example I could give of that would be Islamic countries, right? Because they're all dictatorships, right? There's no civil rights, there's no gay rights, there's no women's rights, right? And it's because they're theocrats. Their rules are based on their interpretation of the religious documents that are the basis of their religion.
And they're
Right.
fundamentalists. They're inflexible. They don't change.
Correct.
And that is
Yeah.
just bad by definition. It doesn't matter really what the religion is. It's all
Founding
weird.
documents left room for lots of change, and they created a governmental system that allowed for change. Amendments to the Constitution. The most important thing about our founding documents would be the Bill of Rights, which is why I keep telling people that who do the taglines, who do the what they think are the clever taglines, like food is a human right, housing is a human right, and I'm just like, you need to read the Bill of Rights. Like, you need to read something about natural rights. Those are socio-political considerations, right? Nobody
what
has
I
a
think
right.
would be, sorry to interrupt, but I really want to know, and we'll come back to this in 5 to 10 years. If we live in an abundance society, all right, let's say AI takes off like crazy, which it will do, and everything is made super cheaply. We can make a house for $1,000. We can have food almost free because it's so cheap to do because nothing's going to require human labor, right? In that world, would you be more inclined to agree that things like housing is a human right, or would that have no impact?
I believe that anything that requires the labor, time, resources, money, and talent of other people is not a human right. Your human rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I think, and I hope, and I deeply hope, and actually pray that it remains that way.
Yeah. I do fear a world, though, where human labor is not needed and not wanted. But in 5 to 10 years, when that happens, we can reevaluate that.
Man,
See what you
I hope
think.
you're wrong about that 5 or
I
10
hope
year.
I'm wrong, too. I really hope I'm
Yeah.
wrong. I just really think I'm not.
Okay.
Oh, such a bummer. Sorry. This daytime shit. This was a mistake. It should be a night with the drinks. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Or we should drink earlier in the day. Either one of those two things would work. I think we should just start drinking at like 9 a.m. Why don't we just
Once I thought I was wrong, but I was mistaken.
motherfucker?
Okay. I am. I have more questions, but I am at a stopping point.
Okay. Well, that was fun. I like this.